Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up.
You buzzed?
Hey, happy Friday afternoon. Welcome to J is for Justice. I am your host, Jay. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. And if you like what you see in this video or any other videos, please consider giving a thumbs up. I hope you guys enjoyed that premiere. I figured I would throw that out there just to kind of plant the seed in your head before the live stream. But we're going to be going through everything that was in that. So we're all good. If you missed it, we're all good. We're all good in the hood. I just put that out 15 minutes before just because I wanted everybody to know what we were going over. We've got Mr. J. Quinn. Hello, Joanne. Hey, Joanne. Hey, Brianna. John Gone Girl. Bubbly Waters. Tickle that like button. Tickle your ass with a feather. Hello, bonjour, Nancy. Leo Tech, are you buzz? I know. Get buzz later, right?
You know, the proof is in the pudding, if you will.
Hello, Lisa M. Hi, Joanne. Hello, Sophie. Hello, Potatoes and Angie B. Tough Tiff. Hello.
Wake up.
Everybody wake up, because I've got a show for you today.
Are you just going to stay quiet forever?
Don't stay quiet. Hello, Just Mikes. Hello, Annie Potts. Welcome back. Jopan. Hello, Jopan. Welcome back to chat. Hello, Sharon K. Hello, Casey. Hello, Melissa B.
Yikes.
Ooh-wee, that will scare somebody.
Hello, Oklahoma. Just an Okie. I'm going to be doing the Oklahoma City bombing in April. So, were you living in Okie when that happened? Well, I hope you guys all are having a fabulous Friday. So, in addition to the premiere that you saw, I have some extra content for you guys. But we're going to go through this first. Hello, Mallory. Hello, Red Raider. Red Riding Hood. Okay. Let's get this up. So we're going to be stopping and discussing this. And, you know, these are my favorite news in the whole wide world. Thank you, Lisa M. Thank you for being here. Margaret Dixon in the UK. No chains, no mo. Hello. You left Oklahoma City the night before the bombing. Wow. Hello, Kaz. Well, I want to welcome everybody to chat. I see a lot of new names, so I want to thank you guys for speaking up and making yourselves known in the chat. And if you would like to become part of the family and be a Roberter, you'll hear Roberter all the time. That is our members, our near and dear Roberters and Robertolinos. So the mods in the bot will be putting the links in chat if you would like to join and become a member. We would love to have you. If not, I know times are tough. I know you got other channels you like. I am just happy that you're here. So, hey, Lala, welcome back. Lala, she was so happy, Potato. She's got several sound bites.
La 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 means let me finish.
La,
la.
Like Lala, you're a staple. Hey, Pickle Pickle.
La la la.
Hi, Mary P. Okay, let's go through this. Let's start. News Nation misinformation.
TV. It's
You have to stand down now.
We're also learning new information between Kohberger and the victims, specifically the girls. According to People magazine, Kohberger visited the restaurant at least twice, where Xana and Maddie both worked. He also followed Kaylee, Maddie, and Xana on Instagram and even tried messaging them. Steve Helling exclusively reported these new details. He's a senior crime writer with People.
Okay, senior crime writer with People magazine. I don't know who this guy is. No idea. Senior crime writer, though. And he's the only one that reported this. And if you notice in the media, when things are reported, I learned this from someone who's been in the journalism world for probably 30 plus years, that if a story's true, everybody else will follow suit.
Magazine, and he joins us now. Steve, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
It's great to have you. Law enforcement tells you they're aware that Kohberger ate at the restaurant where two of the victims.
Law enforcement tells him. So he's speaking with law enforcement? Just him?
Worked, followed three of the female victims on Instagram, even repeatedly messaged one of them and never got a response. So what could the reasoning be, do you think, for investigators withholding that evidence?
So, in one hand, she's saying, why are they withholding that? But then, in the other hand, she's like, what would be their reasoning for withholding it? But they just can't wait for it. They just can't wait for it. They just can't wait. They're like salivating.
Yeah.
Whoa, I never realized this stuff. Yeah, you've really opened up my eyes.
I didn't know this was how journalism worked. This is not what I consider, or what I've ever considered to be ethical journalism. I mean, shoot, we talked about fake news and heard about fake news for so many years, about CNN and shit like that. Craziness. Irresponsible. All about the money. All you got to do is follow the money on everything. Everything.
Well, right now, I think that investigators are really trying to put together an airtight case.
They're trying. They're trying to put together an airtight case, right?
No offense, but shut your pie hole, lady.
To figure out something that they can do to make sure that they have a conviction. And so they're not going to tell us everything. You know, obviously we're hearing bits and pieces, which is what happens in these situations, as you know.
And I put there, as you know, neither of us have ethics. Because they're both sitting here when there's a gag order talking about police telling him shit. Yep, exactly, Mary P. Hello, Jenny.
But we're never going to know everything that the cops have until the time comes that
People magazine report claims that suspected Idaho killer Brian Kohberger visited a restaurant where two of the victims worked in the weeks leading up to their murders. Also that he followed the three female victims on Instagram and repeatedly.
And see how this chick follows up with another story and they're like, oh, wait, it was wrong. Like, wait a minute. Now the Mad Greek is saying no. Remember when People reported that? Like, no, y'all reported it too. Y'all had him on like it was fact coming from LE, and then they're going to about face and go, remember People put that out?
No offense, but shut your pie hole, lady.
One of them. Now, the restaurant owner has since said that Kohberger never visited the restaurant. Joining us now to discuss, former CIA officer, FBI Special Agent Tracy Walder. Tracy, thank you so much for being here.
Jennifer Coffindaffer.
Okay, that had absolutely no meaning. I just had to throw it in there, okay? Can we play that part just one more time? One more time for Leo.
Jennifer Coffindaffer.
If you were able to say something
This is sad.
to Brian Kohberger, what message would you want to send?
I just want to know why. I just want to know why. Why did he do this?
What do you want to see happen to Brian Kohberger?
And what kind of question is that anyways? I mean, look at her face. What do you think she wants to happen to him? Oh, I hate. And she went on and on about, I hate when things have appeals. I hate when people are skeezy. That's what I hate.
Jennifer Coffindaffer.
If you were able to
I feel
say
so bad for her
something
too.
to Brian Kohberger, what message would you want to send?
Exploitation at its finest.
I just want to know why. I just want to know why. Why did he do this?
What do you want to see happen to Brian Kohberger?
What do you think?
Killer Brian Kohberger as legal teams present evidence in his murder trial. Now, 3 different students now say they remember seeing Kohberger at the University of Idaho Student Union building just weeks before the quadruple homicide.
3 students.
They say he was, quote, the type to stare.
Okay, so wait, I want to go back and I want to show you guys one of their little tricks, okay? So she starts out by saying, investigators are releasing new evidence in the case against Brian Kohberger. And then she goes on to say 3 students saw him in the cafeteria. Like, what 3 students? What are you talking about? Is this the evidence that you're speaking of or trying to allude that this is evidence? Like, what?
Brian Kohberger as legal teams present evidence in his murder trial. Now, 3 different students now say they remember seeing Kohberger at the University of Idaho Student Union building just weeks before the quadruple homicide. They say he was, quote, the type to stare, making students uncomfortable with prolonged eye contact. We are also learning more about the Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogen, and Kaylee Gonsalves killings and how Kohberger's last victim fought back. Sources confirming with News Nation that week that Kaylee and Madison were killed first. Ethan and Xana's killings came after. Ethan was reportedly killed in the doorway of Xana's room, and Xana fought back against Kohberger, grabbing his knife repeatedly. Joining us now to discuss these new details, former CIA officer and FBI Special Agent Tracy Walder.
Whoever Tracy Walder is, she's on here all the time. From what I could see by pulling these. We get a little bird's eye view into their studio too. See back here? There's where their little refrigerators are and their little desks and then their studio.
I wouldn't let you sleep in my room if you were growing on my ass.
This is not the first time we've seen this, right? We've seen it with Ted Bundy. We've seen it with Charles Manson. What is the obsession with these kinds of defendants? I mean, is it the danger of it? Is it the fame of it? Why do people get attached?
Well, they are.
So why do women get attached to these prisoners? And this woman asks or answers this question with quite the smirk and the grin on her face. I don't know who she is.
Well, they are infamous, and I think there's a confusion there. And there's something about a dangerous man that can be appealing to some women. And there's a seductiveness there with many of these men in prison, so they can be very charming.
Oh, yeah. He's a charmer, all right. I can just tell he's a charmer. I don't know if it's the enlarged pupils, the fact that his mouth is 5 times too small for his face, or the fact that he drives a white Elantra.
The advantage of pursuing somebody who is behind bars is you don't have to deal with them in real life. so they can't frustrate you. There are bars that separate you from them, so they won't leave socks on the ground, dirty dishes in the sink.
Okay, so my note on that was not only, wow, so because the man's behind bars, he's not going to be frustrating. But she's letting you know what entices women to have men that are behind bars. So they can't cheat. You know where they are. Staff at his doctor's office called him charming too, allegedly. Hey, Elliot, thanks for being here. I always like the guys that pipe up in chat. Thank you for being here.
Up. Because as it turns out, there are multiple letters coming in to the Moscow jail, and they are threatening the life of Brian Kohberger. And they are not treated like the love letters, slightly different. For that, I turn to the guy I know who knows everything about prisons and jails, and that's Larry Levine. He's the director and the founder of Wall Street.
Who? Adam Levine? Wait, who? Who are these people? Where do they get their experts?
I know who knows everything about prisons and jails, and that's Larry Levine. He's the director and the founder of Wall Street Prison Consultants. Also with me tonight, Dr. Michael Aaron. He is a psychotherapist and a certified sex therapist specializing in fetishes. I think he might be able to get me off the ledge on this one.
I don't want to know what ledge she's on with that one. Can I just say that out loud? These people are creeping me out. Like, their experts are creeping me out.
Why is it an issue?
Ashley, nobody said yikes, he hasn't come home, Ashley.
No, there's two men on the screen and you, Elliot. I'm just kidding. No, we've got men. We're probably about 60-40. Smoking Jay. Right? Ashley's on a ledge with fetishes.
Why is it an issue?
Ashley, nobody said yikes, he hasn't come home, Ashley.
Yikes. Like, who is this dude? Here, let's watch again.
The Moscow jail, and they are threatening the life of Brian Kohberger. And they are not treated like the love letters, slightly different. For that, I turn to the guy I know who knows everything about prisons and jails, and that's Larry Levine. He's the director and the founder of Wall Street Prison Consultants. Also with me tonight, Dr. Michael Aaron. He is a...
Okay, I'm curious. Wall Street. I'm going to take the bait. Wall Street Prison Consultants. Get help with a federal sentence reduction with just one phone call. A free 30-minute consult in our free ebook, Fed Time 101, containing strategies. Can you guys see this shit? Hey, God. Stop it. Stop right now. This is what we need to do. We need to fact check sources that we are introduced to. Hi, Auntie Cheryl. A free 30-minute consult in our free ebook, Fed Time 101.
God almighty.
Containing strategies, ideas, and case studies to ensure you serve the shortest federal prison sentence possible in the most favorable institution. You can research on your own, get advice from your friends and family, and go through this situation alone. Or you can call America's most experienced federal prison consultants and get guidance now.
Wake up.
Free case evaluation, full name. They want all your shit. Wait, they have packages. If this is run in Salt Lake City, I'm done. That's where all these... What? New York. Look. New York, Washington, D.C., and L.A. is this? I don't like this channel at all. They have no ethics. Oh my God. He was on Anderson Cooper. That's what that is. I can't get it to load.
Yikes.
Get your free 60-minute consultation and get Fed Time 101. Testimonials. He's a former 10-year federal inmate, Larry J. Levine. He's now the director of Wall Street Prison Consultants and Coaching. He's been on all these news. Okay, let's see. Bronze package. There's no prices. Bronze package. Polygraph manipulation techniques. Oh, yeah, this is great. Woo! Great source. No, it doesn't help you adjust to prison. They try to get you out of prison. He really does, Stevie. I'm surprised they didn't think that thing was a Chinese balloon.
Oh my God.
Plea agreement review, 5 sentencing letters to judge, pre-PSR interview coaching, polygraph manipulation techniques. For the silver package, you get the early release package, the prison survival orientation coaching, 10 3-minute phone calls, consultation with family spelled wrong, members, witness stand testimony techniques. The gold package. Hello, David. You get what's included in the bronze and the silver package. And then you get the early release package, sentencing narrative to judge, downward departure reviews, unlimited video, Skype, telephone consultation. On what, Annie? What are you talking about? Then we have the Second Chance Act services, chemical dependency assessment, facility designation assistance, custody and security classification, Second Chance Act request paperwork, interview coaching, and 4 30-minute telephone consults. In custody services, medical care requests, inmate transfer, cheap inmate phone calls, admin remedy document preparation, compassionate release requests, habeas 28 preparation, letters to senators and congressmen. Post-custody, for those on supervised release, advice on dealing with U.S. probation, modification of restitution, early supervised release termination request, habeas preparation, community SVC placement assistance, and restoral of voting rights guidance. Now, some of this stuff in here could help people when they get out, but some of this is kind of sus. Don't go with this journey alone, he says. So, yeah, I took the bait. I went to his website. That's what it is. Media is blank. Like, look. Ah! Look. This is hysterical. Like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Look at this. I hope you can see this. You can't. Hold on. Look up here. See. Oh my God. How about the dumbass package? Does he have one of those? Because everyone should get that if they buy any of these packages.
McNo.
Look at this. See how this is like home is gray, testimonials is gray, media is gray, detention centers, contact is gray. Look at this, media. You click it. There's nothing. Look, he has Houston Chronicle. Oh, he does have shit in here. My bad. Okay, I take that back. It looked like it was grayed out. They've got some phone numbers. They've got emails. So he might actually... 'Cause I just wonder how many people hire him. I don't know. You'd think they'd check the website. This is a little embarrassing, but hey, what are you going to do? I mean, look at who else they have on. Okay, let's go back to our video. If we can get through this without laughing.
Psychotherapist and a certified sex therapist specializing in fetishes.
Talk me off the
I think you might
ledge.
be able to get me off the ledge on this one. First to you, Larry. Told that Dylan actually mistook the noises that she'd been hearing.
Okay. First off, Dylan mistook. Yeah, exactly, Elliot. She mistook the noises she was hearing. Where did they get that from? All of a sudden, it was like all these people were talking about Dylan, and then this guy came out and he's like, oh no, this is the reason, da, 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 you know, like damage control. And then all of a sudden she like was telling them to keep it down, like she's the house mom.
These nuts.
But get this, while I was watching this News Nation report, look what I spy with my little blue eye. Let's make this a tad bit bigger. This is when they were, looks like they're going through this dumpster. This looks to be an early on shot, you guys. And what do we see parked by the dumpster?
Oh my God.
He's the former president of Pacific Telephone and Moorpark Survival. Well, they supposedly collected things from, you know, the surrounding dumpsters. Pink Lady? What's that? Do I want to know?
John Wayne Bobbitt's penis.
What's up with the white truck, right? Is that a Toyota? Because there was a Toyota in another video or in another picture as well. Are you sure that's a Toyota? Now watch this. I think it was TNT that posted that picture, didn't she? I could have sworn she did. There was a Toyota. Was it Dylan's dad's house? Right here. TNT. Done dirt cheap. Look. Moscow, Idaho. Dylan's dad. Watch. Let me make this smaller. Dylan's dad. Brent Mortensen and more. Number 1, white truck owned by Brent J. Mortensen. 2, vandal alert. 3, Boise senior high attendance zone. Dylan graduating Bethany Reno High. Da da da. But there's does that look like the same truck? No. Alicia says no. Stevie says it's a 2012-ish. What year is that? No, I think she was just writing Moscow case, not that he lives there. Hey, John. No sunroof. There's just too many. Coffee Cake DM saw bushy eyebrow guy and thought it was Ethan's friend who was leaving. She called Brittany. Who's Brittany? Brittany said forget about it, and when DM got up to use the bathroom, that's when she saw everything. Who's Brittany? 2 different trucks? Thank God. And that's not a Toyota that pulls up when they're walking with, talking about Adam, right?
The affidavit said that around 4 a.m., she could hear some noises up on the 3rd floor, thought it was maybe, Kaylee playing with the dog, Murphy.
Which
didn't
makes
think a
no
lot more
sense.
than that. But ultimately, a few moments later, she heard a lot of noises. She opened her door and effectively kind of yelled out to her roommates, calm down, like cut it out, keep it down. You guys are being loud. I'm trying to sleep. It's late. Thinking that there were roommates.
Why are they speaking
horsing
for
around.
her?
That perhaps all that.
Why are they speaking? Why is she speaking for her? Why is she saying, oh, she was telling them to stop horsing around? Where did that come from? Brittany is Bethany? Is that what? How is Brittany Bethany?
Noise that she was hearing was just them, being boisterous and still in party mode. It was.
I would bubbly, but her dad likes to threaten people with lawsuits, so that's off limits.
Late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. So she then closed her door and went back to bed, but within minutes, perhaps sort of roused again by noise, opens the door again, was going to say something again.
She heard crying, though. We can't forget that. This doesn't make sense with what we heard in the affidavit.
Were roommates horsing around. That perhaps all that noise that she was hearing was just them, being boisterous and still in party mode. It was late Saturday night, early Sunday morning. So she then closed her door and went back to bed, but within minutes, perhaps sort of roused again by noise, opens the door again, was going to say something again to the effect of, keep it down already. It's the middle of the night. And that's when she sees the figure coming towards her. Now, this has been a big bone of contention for a lot of people. Why, if you saw some shadowy, terrifying figure walking towards you, would you just close your door and go back to bed and not call the police?
Right.
And the characterization to the source who spoke directly with her after the murders is that she didn't think that that figure was anything other than just part.
Sandra, I agree with that. I think that is a possibility. Steve, you think that the one that drove past was a GMC? Yeah, she's throwing shit at the wall and seeing what will stick. I have not, Bubbly Waters. I haven't seen all of them. I mean, I'm not upset that she didn't do anything. Like, if she was really scared, I would just like to know that, But I don't think she could have. I mean, for her to not hear anything other than Kaylee playing with her dog or what she thought, I don't know. Thank you, Stefan.
Murder.
I don't know about that. Like, I don't know what I would expect anyone to do. Like, you're kind of in self-preservation mode. Like when you hear a murder going on, but just say that. I mean, this doesn't have to be a big secret. And why would this need to be secret? What would make it where it needs to be secret? Who just joined? Aries. Thank you for becoming a Roberter. I thought the one at the food truck looked like a Ford too. But you think this one's definitely a Toyota in the background here? Not a Ford? I'm not a good identifier of trucks.
Part of the horsing around, maybe one of the partiers, maybe somebody who was a friend of one of the other roommates that was making all the noise. But it, startled her nonetheless to see a man in the middle of the night, dark, walking towards her. Thank you for watching.
Why is she giggling? Like, what? These people are so weird. Is it just me?
Somebody who was a friend of one of the other roommates that was making all the noise. But it, startled her nonetheless to see a man in the middle of the night, dark, walking towards her. Thank you for watching.
Why does she giggle? Like, what the These people give me Creep Town dude vibes. You know what? I had another video. Hold on. I want to make sure. Oh, it wasn't that one. Cleared of conflict. Oh, yeah, here's this. I wanted to play this too. Do we have another member? That's a Tundra. Thank you, Stevie. Aiden Harsh. I don't know. I don't know who he is, where he is. He's odd too. None of it feels right. Let's finish this video so we can move on to the next one.
Yo, is it okay to have a party? Like just 3 or 4 people at most.
Like losing his job as a teaching assistant at Washington State University. And then with that, losing your funding for the doctoral studies program you're in the school. Because it appears right now that that's what happened. We now have sources with direct knowledge of the termination letter sent to Bryan Kohberger. And tonight I want to read the letter to you in full. The letter is dated December the 19th, 2022. Starts this way.
A new theory surfaced this week in the case of the Idaho student murders that I find incredibly interesting. It's about probably the single most important piece of evidence in the case.
He has some major revelations
discovered at the crime scene, which allegedly has suspect Bryan Kohberger's DNA on it. The theory is one I just hadn't even considered, that might have been intentionally left there by Kohberger to throw off investigators.
Oh my God. We never thought of that. We would have never thought of that. Thank God for News Nation. Okay, moving forward on to our next video. This is an interesting one. When I was searching News Nation, I came across this, and this is Chief Fry, and it's a really weird angle, right? It's a strange angle. And I'm going to make this bigger because, like, usually they're, in front of him. There's other media running around there, but the woman from News Nation is actually, like next to him, I guess you could say, or like behind him almost. All right, hold on. Let me turn this off. All right, let's watch this. This is on December the 7th, and this would be the day that they were removing the quote-unquote, Leo, you're killing me. The quote-unquote personal effects for the family. Because it was going to give them closure to get their personal effects out of the house when it was still an active crime scene.
What?
I know he kind of looks like Brian's dad from the side, doesn't he?
Wicked and weakness. You gotta see this.
And we're just trying to get stuff back to the family so that they can have some closure.
Okay. What did you guys kind of take out? Was it specific things the family wanted?
Some of the things that the family wanted, and just so the family can have some of that stuff.
Yesterday you talked about, I can't imagine how difficult it is for you. Last time you guys were here, it was a horrendous crime scene. To have to go back into the house, what was that like?
You know, we have a job to do, and I said yesterday that we're going to do our job. We're going to do it to the best of our ability, and we owe this to the family, we owe this to the victims, we owe this to our community. So,
okay, this is where the video gets weird, and this is straight from Twitter. All of a sudden, the mouth doesn't match the vocals. And this is exactly how it is on his Twitter. I have no idea why. No clue what he actually said here. But watch. I'm going to rewind just a touch. Watch.
And we owe this to the family, we owe this to the victims, we owe this to our community. So.
No, it's more than just out of sync, though, Juan. Watch.
Said yesterday that we're going to do our job, we're going to do it to the best of our ability, and we owe this to the family, we owe this to the victims, we owe this to our community.
I rewound it because I was like, wait a minute. Okay, so I'm doing this in real time. This is how I watched it. I was like, wait, what? Did I miss something? And then I texted Shell and I'm like, is this whole thing have audio for you or does it cut out? And she's like, nope, it's not just you. It cuts out. So I rewound it and played it again.
We owe this to the victims, we owe this to our community. So.
I think they cut the shit because he said something, because this was before the arrest. But what I found interesting as well is who's back here all putting stuff in this police car? Who are these people? I mean, are they cops? Is he wearing khakis? Who are they? Whose car is that in the driveway? Whose truck is over there? Is that a cop truck? And he drives out in a U-Haul. Why couldn't they get a U-Haul for the mattresses?
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Picking up the boxes.
And we're just trying to get stuff back to the family so that they can have some closure. Thank you.
Okay, now this is where it gets interesting. No booties. Okay. Now watch. This guy gets in the car. See how he's getting in the car right there behind here? Look behind Fry. The other guy is coming out the door. Now watch. Now watch. I swear that door swings open. The passenger door swings open before that guy can even sit down in the car. So is someone else in that cop car? Watch closely. Maybe I'm wrong. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, what was in the U-Haul? The U-Haul had one headlight out? Oh my God. Like, I guess that could be an admin car, that Ford Fusion. But he's driving the U-Haul, I thought. Okay, so anyways, watch this door and let me know what you think of this.
Yeah.
That dude's not even sitting down and that door swings open. Who's in there already? Look. Hey, Jenny. December 7th. This was before Kohberger was arrested. Now watch that door again. Watch. I'm going to slow it down. Because I don't think he had time to open that damn door. Look, it was already opening before he even sat down. And no booties. Brent was killed the 15th. And then the audio is weird. Like, what happened to the audio?
Best of our ability, and we owe this to the family. We owe this to the victims. We owe this to our community. So,
I want to know what this reporter has recorded. Because she asked him something here.
Victims, we owe this to our community. So.
Could be, Elliot. So I wonder what other station, there's no way to tell what other station was there. Because they would have kind of the same.
Thank you very much.
Picking up the boxes.
And we're just trying to get stuff back to the family so that they can have some closure.
Is this when they wouldn't have had those bodies in there this long, would they? I just think it's weird they're walking in and out of a crime scene with no booties on. Right, front door left wide open. Well, someone's still in there because there's a truck. Because I think Fry's driving the U-Haul. I don't freaking know.
Thank you.
I have no idea. I'm just showing y'all what I see, man.
Picking up the boxes.
It's interesting, isn't it? I mean, here's the mattresses and stuff.
Tonight, it's finals week at the University of Idaho, but the campus is eerily quiet. The still unsolved quadruple murder has students and their parents back home on edge.
There's not very many people who have been going to classes. They often opt for virtual classes because they might feel safer in their homes, or they don't feel safe commuting to campus, especially with...
Is that Fry's daughter?
The sunset happening so early now, around 4 o'clock.
When journalism major Katerina Hakama does venture out, she's alert and prepared.
Never
mind. My roommate bought me a pepper spray that I keep on my keychain now.
It's because no suspect has been publicly identified. No weapon has been found.
Bye,
as police
Cheryl.
continue the complicated investigation. Today, police going to the site of the gruesome murders to box up and return the victims' personal effects to their families.
Hopefully to help with some of their healing.
But the victims' families are fed up. They say the police haven't been transparent and have been giving conflicting accounts of what happened. The father of one of the victims, Kaylee Gonzalez, telling Fox News he's hiring a lawyer and private investigator to, quote, get the truth faster.
Let's stop playing games, guys. I need somebody to step up and be an outfit. Be somebody to be a leader.
But experts tell NBC News it could take weeks to analyze DNA evidence and fingerprints, especially in a house with a lot of roommates and friends coming and going. Meanwhile, there's a glaring 5-hour gap in the...
Hold on. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? No, it said that they were going to take weeks to collect evidence, yet they're walking in and out, leaving the door wide open with booties on.
To analyze DNA evidence and fingerprints, especially in a house with a lot of roommates and friends.
Hear that?
Stop playing games, guys. I need somebody to step up and be an outfit. Be somebody to be a leader.
But experts tell NBC News it could take weeks to analyze DNA evidence and fingerprints, especially in a house with a lot of roommates and friends coming and going. Meanwhile, there's a glaring 5-hour gap in the timeline of events surrounding two of the victims who authorities say were last seen at a party at this Friday events.
Is this supposedly the same day that we just saw him talking? The U-Haul day? I just wanted footage of the U-Haul. Because I know there's one. Oh, right here.
Police began removing some of the victims' personal belongings from that crime scene in Moscow. Police said the families have been asking for some of those items back. Investigators say those things are no longer needed for their investigation. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley was at the house today and spoke to law enforcement about the next steps in this investigation.
At the request of the students' families, Moscow police packed up personal belongings at the home. In fact, Chief James Fry said it was important for him to personally be here with the officers, boxing up those items so they could, in a sense, be there for the family and give back those items that might help the family heal. The chief himself drove the U-Haul into the driveway. Police officers arrived early this morning to pack up the students' things, and by noon today, they finished loading the boxes onto the truck. This is not something police typically do, but Idaho State Police spokesperson Aaron Snell says in this case, it was appropriate.
We've had the crime scene for quite some time, and the family would like back some of those belongings. There's undoubtedly some sentimental issues, and I think it will help with a little bit of the healing. And
Who's this guy? Trooper Aaron Snell? He looks like the principal in the Breakfast Club.
We want to be part of that process. We want to help them. We don't want to keep holding on to items that really aren't needed for the investigation.
There was no sign of the students' immediate family members here today, but we do know the U-Haul has been taken to a secure location where Moscow police will communicate with the family to coordinate returning those items to them. Reporting in Moscow, Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
Sorry. So he drove the U-Haul out of there. This just says raw. So why would they, was this really Bethany and Dylan's stuff being taken out? Because why are they holding Ethan's stuff? Yeah, he smiled the whole time, John. And then he made, he actually did an interview where he was like, that's just my demeanor. Like, no confident, authoritative chief of police excuses or gives anybody excuses for their behavior. They're very confident in their behavior. They definitely don't make excuses for their own demeanor. He's not confident, in my opinion. His voice shakes. He's not confident. Something is going on. Like, he's either got like the best poker face ever, and he's like the smartest person, or he's the dumbest person. Bye, Shell. I think that they got Bethany and Dylan's things for them. God, the side of that truck says Pennsylvania on it. It's so weird. See that? Creepy. Creepy. Everything about this case just seems like it's all orchestrated. Look at that. Pennsylvania. Yeah, no gloves, no booties. And look how many are in and out of there. Are you kidding me? Who's the guy with the gloves? Who's that guy? Who is he? Right here, walking in. It does. It feels like it's all orchestrated. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. Hi, Jen. Who's this guy? One box? That's all he can carry? Yeah, but they said that they were keeping it for fingerprints and DNA and stuff. You don't contaminate a crime scene. They haven't even caught a suspect yet. Hmm. And why isn't he wearing a coat? What's up with that? It is like deliberately contaminating the scene. Like, are you kidding me? Oh, look, how did he get... He's putting a TV in his car? Why? It's freaking weird. Pennsylvania. They did not have him on the 7th. They didn't get him till the 15th. They did not have Brian Kohberger in custody at this time. Look at all those reporters watching. Yeah, doggy. Follow the money. Follow the money. They're getting a lot of money for this case. I'll check it out, Annie. Thank you for sending that. Is this not the weirdest thing you've ever seen? And what do they got hanging on their deck over here in the snow? No, this is December 7th, 2022. They knew, well, they pulled him over on the 15th. I think they knew who he was. Sorry, they did arrest him on the 30th. This is well before they had Kohberger. Well before they had Kohberger. They didn't even try to not contaminate it. I think that right there, I would, if I was his lawyer, I'd be like, you expect me to believe watching this. You expect me to believe watching this that my client only left one single piece of DNA on a snap of a knife sheath. The crime scene was already contaminated before they even began processing it because they went in there on an unconscious person. And why is the crime scene tape going right up against the house? Shouldn't the parking lot had been part of the crime scene off the rip. It doesn't even make sense. Right, but he said they're keeping it as a crime scene, is what you guys are failing to recognize. I didn't say it. Chief Fry said it was still a crime scene. So why aren't they treating it as a crime scene? Why are they freaking walking in with no booties, no gloves? Right, I don't care who said they were unconscious. When the cop walked in, they weren't expecting a homicide. So the scene was contaminated once the cops walked in. I don't know what went on before the cops got there, but once the cops got there and they walked in, they didn't know they were walking into a homicide, and they did, and they contaminated it unknowingly. CC, does anyone remember what day they removed the bodies from the house? Nope, have no idea. Never saw them remove them. Never saw a video of the coroner. Never saw a medical examiner's van. I never saw shiz. Right, but if someone's bleeding out and you call and you say, "Oh my God, my roommate's been stabbed and they're not breathing," they're gonna go in under in a different way. If they're trained right, they're gonna walk into that scene way differently than they would someone that might need CPR. Easy E, really?
Murder.
A bag? Ooh, wait, we get a close-up of those dudes. Hold on. Whereabouts in the video is the bag? They're still inside a month later? Like, how did they sneak the bodies out? 4 bodies. How did they sneak them out without anyone getting a video, a glimpse? Dane. I don't want to say that, but it definitely is odd. Jeremy spoke in class today. He's hanging out over here watching. And there's no families there, yet they're collecting the personal belongings for closure? Doesn't even make sense. All right, where's this bag? That dude's taking home a TV tonight. No, Nancy, they don't have to list everything in the affidavit. And Leah, we don't have to see all that. They may wait for the prelim for that. Or, you know, for trial. Right, Daily Mail gets a pic of everything. They apparently asked the press not to film out of respect. And when does the press respect that? When does the press respect wishes? They're the most intrusive. Are you kidding me? If they could get the coroner's van and they get the ratings. Hey, TNT. Are you live? What's up? Are you love bombing me, TNT? I just gave you a shout out a few minutes ago. I'm looking for this bag of shoes. Where's the bag of tricks? I mean, Daily Mail always gets the deets. I mean, they got pictures of Michael Jackson's body. Apparently the guy with the big stash is from the state police. Oh my God. Hello, TNT peeps. Oh my God. We're for real, like, corroborating.
Corroborate. Yeah.
We're seeing if Dylan's shoes are in a bag right now. But TNT, we were talking, like, why are these guys going in and out? No booties, no gloves. It's being put in the U-Haul. How did I miss that? Who carried it out? Stash? I don't know. I clearly can't find it. Must have been in the beginning. He's hiding his face with the boxes. Who is that guy? He don't want to be on camera. Smile. You're on candid camera.
I flashed and said, wow, pretty far out. I thought it was pretty far out.
Whose photos are those? Like, where are those big pictures from?
Oh my God.
I showed it earlier. I'm not seeing it now, which is weird. All I'm seeing are boxes. One of the stools from the kitchen? That's something that means something to somebody?
God almighty.
Weren't these the scissoring stools? Why is he taking the stools? What was not his voice? From? What was not whose voice? You said it was not his voice. Who? What up, Thrifty?
Wake up.
There is no date, CC. You won't find it. Keep looking. Oh, it's a vanity stool? Okay, that, I guess. I don't understand taking anything out. If Ethan's parents... Oh, now the prosecutor's on scene. If Ethan's parents can't get his freaking golf clubs, why are they taking all this stuff out? For what reason? Is there an informant and this is their stuff? Make it make sense. I mean, What is all? They just have shit all boxed up. I'm sorry. I still don't see the damn bag of shoes. Bag of tricks. All right, let's move on. It doesn't seem right. And he don't like all that press he's coming up to face right now. At all. Okay, let's switch gears. No, we're not switching gears yet. I've got a couple screenshots I want to share before we move on from this. Just ones that I took from the video that are just screenshotted, I guess. That I screenshot them. I was like, ooh, wow, this is kind of weird. Okay, so these are all from the U-Haul video. You know, sometimes they say a picture speaks 1,000 words. That's the first one. And then the second one is this one, which showed my friends back there that I was just like, who are they and what are they doing? Another source video. Ashley always bringing the sources to the surface.
And they're having a field day arguing online about this. And so I know it's a really important issue. It has to do with conflict of interest. I know we've talked about it before, but I have some breaking news on this tonight. So the issue has been Brian Kohberger's public defender, Ann Taylor, right? She showed up and walked into court with him the very first time. She's a very accomplished attorney. Holy cow. She's got some real scores under her belt, right? So she's good. She's also a leader in the public defender's office. So looked like it was a pretty good match, especially for a case that was important as this. Could be a death penalty case. I'll repeat, could be a death penalty case. You have to have a star, but you have to have a clean star. Someone who has no conflicts in her past representations. And along came the fact that she had indeed represented the mother of Kara Kernodle, one of the alleged victims of Brian Kohberger, her client, and then two other parents of the victims, right? So that, all of a sudden, it's like, it seemed so clear. Well, you cannot have represented the children of parents who are now going to be in that courtroom watching you defend their child's alleged killer. You can't. And yet there's some wiggle room. But with all of the conflagration that happened, it turns out now there has been a meeting. And we have sources close to the prosecution who have told us.
This is where it gets ridiculous. There's been a meeting. A secret meeting she found out about.
That Ann Taylor has had a meeting with the judge on this exact issue. The conflict of interest issue. Private meeting, behind closed doors, discussing all of the issues. Likely she was called in to lay out, tell me everything you did with client A, client B, and client C. Tell me everything so that we can exclude the possibility of a conflict. And in this review process, my source has told me that it's been clear. No conflict, according to the judge.
To hell.
So is that it? I mean, Kara Northington, Ben Mogan, Corey Hattrock, all parents of the deceased victims in this case, all had Ann Taylor on their cases, right?
Why is this woman, why are they talking about her like she's so highly regarded? They're talking about her like she's so highly regarded. Like they talked about Koberger being so fucking smart and so brilliant.
What you are witnessing is real. The participants
So,
are not actors.
It is such a curious issue. What did she tell the judge? Like, what did she lay out to the judge in order for the judge in this case to say, nothing to see here, no conflict problem? Did she see our interview? Did the judge see our interview with Ann Taylor's previous client, who she dropped on the very day she showed up in that courtroom?
Okay, so let's back up. She's talking about Xana's mom. Xana's mom had a warrant for her arrest. So was News Nation whatever the word, were they part of Xana's mom getting rearrested? This lawyer doesn't look like a star lawyer to me. I don't know what's going on here. This is bizarre.
With her brand new client, Brian Koberger, literally dropped her former client, Kara Northington, that's Xana Kernodle's mom, dropped her that.
I mean, she was fighting drug trafficking charges for her mom. Trafficking. Not just, oh, hey, I had some paraphernalia and, a couple grams. Welcome to the family. You must be.
Day. And they were still active. Like it was still an active pending case. By the way, Kara Northington had no idea that this had gone on. She had no notification of it, she told us. And did Ann Taylor know about the interview that we conducted on this program with Xana's mom, in which she laid out that she was gobsmacked by all of this, that she had no idea? Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find news.
Who interviewed a fugitive? Yeah, I don't see what the big deal is. I don't know why they pulled her from another county. Like,
Murder.
They couldn't just bring another lawyer in to help. What's his name? Thompson? Santa Claus dude? I mean,
somebody in Washington with more than 5 brain cells needs to listen to this. Well, maybe asking them to have 5 brain cells too many. Let's shoot for 3 brain cells.
How did they get a hold of Xana's mom?
And they're having a field day.
Wake up.
How did they get a hold of... Okay, and then here's another thing. How did they get a hold of her if she was a fugitive? And why would she go on national TV? I'm not on StreamYard, but I can try this other collab tool. I don't have Streamlabs up or StreamYard or whatever. But we can see if this collab tool works, Lana. Hold on. I saved what? Oh, of course they paid her. Of course they did. You know they did. Shame on them. Oh, I found it. Okay. It took me a minute to find it. Hold on. Start collab cam. New link. Okay. Let's see if this works. I'm going to put this in the chat. Found it. Okay. It took me. Okay. TNT. See if that works. She was wanted. I thought so. All right, so while we wait and see if that link works for TNT, I have a video for you guys to watch.
Cougar Safe Rides is a volunteer-run program that offers free rides home.
Hold on.
Cougar Safe Rides is a volunteer-run program that offers free rides home at night to the WSU community. I spoke with Josh Wagner, who is a supervisor for the program.
But there are 3 Fords. They seat 3 people in the back. You know, we take 3 people per ride.
Cougar Safe Rides operates every night starting at 7 p.m. on the weeknights and 8 p.m. on the weekends. If you're wondering what a Cougar Safe Ride car looks like, lucky for you, I'm actually standing by one right now. And as you can see, there are LED lights on the car with the number of the service that you can call, as well as WSU insignia on the cars that clearly label them as a Cougar Safe Ride car that will take you home safely.
They've actually expanded outside of campus, so it's pretty much, I believe it's like a 5 or 6 mile radius outside of campus, so pretty much anywhere in Pullman.
Safe Rides is different from other taxi services because they can take you to locations on campus such as the Cub, lecture halls, and the Spark. Also, they pick up riders anywhere in the Pullman city limits, including stores and bars. Reporting for Murrow News 8, I'm Noelle Anderson. Cougar Safe Rides is a volunteer-run program that offers free rides home at night to the WSU community. I spoke with Josh Wagner, who is a supervisor for the program.
But there are 3 Fords. They seat 3 people in the back. You know, we take 3 people per ride.
Cougar Safe Rides operates every night starting at 7 p.m. on the weeknights and 8 p.m. on the weekends.
Okay, I don't know about y'all, but I don't think that I want to do any kind of free rides from anybody there. Okay? No thanks, but no thanks. And I'm wondering if this collab thing didn't work. He looks like... You guys want to watch that again? All right, here's that link, TNT. Try it. You guys are like, no, don't play it again. Yeah, some weird stuff. But you know, it almost seems like all this stuff that I stumble upon is like so sus. It seems orchestrated sometimes. It's weird, man. There's just a lot to unpack with this area. Check this out.
21.
This is
tonight a former
9 months ago.
Christchurch deacon in Moscow facing a federal charge of possession of child pornography. Alex Lloyd indicted after police say they discovered his iPhone contained graphic images of the illegal material. We want to warn you the content of this report may be disturbing to some. KLEW's Jordan Smith joins us in studio with details. Jordan.
Anna, we're learning tonight this indictment comes after a lengthy investigation led by Moscow police. For the first time tonight, Christchurch has spoken out on the matter. On April 19th, former Christchurch...
Lana, can you hear me? Can everybody hear her? Talk again. Yes. Okay, hold on. Let me make you in stereo. No, it's good. It worked. I can't believe it actually worked. Okay, so what's up? What are you itching? Come on. What's up? What's on your mind? I don't know. Do you have your camera hooked up? That's something that I use. So you're good. I mean, they can hear you at least. You guys can't hear her? Fuck, they can't hear you. Kidding me? Are you on Streamlabs? Or StreamYard? Whatever. StreamYard. Okay, hold on one sec. Let me try one thing. I know, and the little thing's moving for me. So let's see. Okay, maybe they can hear you now. Okay, now talk.
Hi, my name is Lana.
Okay, now talk again. I think it's good now. Okay, give it a second and catch up, you guys. Okay, Lana, okay. Are you live still?
Yeah, I think.
Hey, TNT Dynamite peeps.
Yeah, I think we did this right.
I'm pretty sure they can hear you. Yes,
so that they can hear. Yeah,
woo, we did it.
Can you hear? Can you guys hear Jay? Or
yeah, they can hear me. Yeah, we're good. Okay, so what's on your mind? Talk to me.
Oh, nothing's on my mind actually. Well, actually, I'm overwhelmed with these monitors at the moment.
Oh, you got your setup.
Yeah, like, how would I be able to do it? If I was to press play on my end, I wouldn't be able to do that since I'm live with you, right?
Play.
Like, let me just see something. What the heck? Hold on. Yeah. So I'm trying to see it's on.
Are you trying to play sound bites?
I'm trying to do everything. Do sound bites,
yeah. We're gonna have to talk offline because there's another step you're gonna have to take to get your people to be able to hear it if you're using StreamYard.
Okay.
So yeah, there's something you're gonna have to download. So I'll send you the link to that. Because there's something else. Because StreamYard doesn't have it like built in where it. I don't know. I'll explain it later.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
I'll hook you up with that. I don't know if you share screen, but we can't do that on here. Not on this. Sorry, Jen. David Skywalker says he's amazed at how loud and clear you sound.
Perfect.
So this is actually Streamlabs desktop, and they have a new thing called Collab Cam.
Okay.
And it's kind of like you can give a link, but it's one at a time. But I don't know why your camera's not working, but maybe it's because you're live already.
Interesting.
But so how's your setup?
I got two. So I have my laptop, and then I got two additional monitors, 24 inches a piece.
Very
so I'm
nice.
all monitored up. I got the Stream Deck. I got an additional webcam. I got a dash cam for the car with the cabin view.
Fancy.
What else?
Shall we play a game?
I got another external hard drive. I think the thing is space, when I'm making all these videos and stuff like that, it's been a lot of
you gotta have
a lot of your
dude. I have a hard drive that has pictures of my kids when they were younger that it won't read, but I'm just hoping that someday I can have it, my stuff taken out. I've had it sitting in here for years.
I got you.
But yeah, I have to have one of those too, because you just have way too much stuff that accumulates.
Yeah, and it's keeping it all organized too. Naming that shit.
Well, she's on a Yeti Blue mic, I think, David Skywalker. Isn't that what you have?
Yeah, I have a
Yeti?
blue. Yeah. Does it sound okay? This one I had though.
Yeah, he says it sounds really good. And maybe it's the Streamlabs that's really making it crisp. He says it sounds really nice.
Making it pop.
Making it pop, baby. So yeah, I'll hook you up with that program you're gonna have to download, and it's like a way to like route your audio. It's confusing
cool.
AF, but I will help you the best I can.
Yeah, definitely. We'll do it offline or whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot that's happened this week. The shooting over at Michigan State, it's so sad. I mean, senseless. I'm having a beverage for
sad.
happy hour. I'm having Angry Orchard because I'm just so upset with the police lately.
Some hard cider. Is that what that is?
Yeah, it's a hard cider. It's a 2 apples in every bottle cider.
Yeah. We used to have an orchard in Michigan by us that made their own. It was pretty good. Pretty potent stuff. Blake's. You ever seen Blake's hard cider in the stores?
No.
Hey, you're in Ohio.
Yes.
Let me get your opinion on this derailed train and the toxic chemicals in the Ohio River. What's the word on the streets in Ohio?
Well, I'm not close enough to it, but I don't know enough of it. I just
So
know
you're not
that-
really hearing a lot about it?
Correct. There's no, I mean,
crazy.
That's really close to the border.
This thing spans over 16 states. This water touches 16 states and no one's talking about it. The news just started talking about it and it happened on the 4th.
Really?
Scary.
Have they released what caused it? Or are they not talking about that part of it yet either?
I think it's still under investigation.
Yeah, I'm curious what caused it.
And then they lit it on fire, so it looked like a nuclear bomb, like a mushroom cloud. It was bad. And now people are saying like fallout, like the ash shit is coming down on their house, and they're telling people to like clean. It's just scary.
Yeah, I'm waiting to hear I'm curious to see what they're going to say about it. What caused it?
Yeah, it'll be some bullshit story. So what do you think about all these leaks? Are you buying them? Do you think there's some truth in them? Do you think what do you think of all this stuff? You know, like the letter, the termination letter, the secret Ann Taylor
I think that's a
meeting.
bunch of crap. The letter can't go into, that's WSU. That's a huge lawsuit.
Yeah, who would leak that?
Also, just like the facts surrounding it. I would. Why wouldn't you talk to Brian Kohlberger before he left? To think to like put something like that in the mail that doesn't. You don't think that he was fired on the spot?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. When they were
when he was
in
called
person. Yeah.
Yeah. Unless there was something that it was said like, all right, well, we're going to go ahead and discuss what's, you know. I mean, what the hell happened how many weeks was it? Nothing like that is on his past with issues in any of his schooling with Pennsylvania stuff.
Yeah, you know what else was a bullshit thing that came out in the very beginning when he was arrested and he was still in Pennsylvania, was that he was being all crude in jail and like making horrible remarks to the women. I just think that was all bullshit too. And I feel like there's been like a certain way they want us to view Brian Kohlberger since the day we first heard his name.
Yeah. Yes. I can't. I just think it's the gag order is supposed to protect honestly the person was arrested. If that's like really what we're trying to do here.
Yeah, they're really working hard to spoil this whole thing. Why? Or that's what it seems like, you know?
I don't know who would ever go out on a YouTube channel and say that they have this letter and go and put that out, and wouldn't have police like, hey, you put out some letter, Brian Kohlberger's, like, you know what I mean? Like this is a pretty, like, do you think that she was questioned about that?
Right. Like who from the university would have given that? They would want to find out.
And then what is she just going to say? Well, I can claim I'm a journalist. I do not have to reveal my source.
Yeah, I don't understand what they're doing, but it's every day they have breaking news. And her latest was this secret meeting that Ann Taylor had with the judge, and that she got the all clear to go ahead. How would she even know that? Who would tell her that?
I don't. Maybe one of the janitors that was cleaning it overheard.
I mean, for real. So, Elisa Nelson wants to know, why are you trying to protect BK? And if that's what it seems like, I mean, I'm not trying to protect anybody, but I believe in innocent until proven guilty.
Yeah, I'm protecting the integrity of the case.
I mean, really, all we know that they have is very little, and it really doesn't even point to him except for this sheath. And I just watched them go in and out of that house, like.
Well, how they
50
got the
times.
sheath though too. That's interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
How they were able to. When I say got the sheath, obviously they have the sheath. It would be there's this touch DNA on it, and if anybody knows anything about touch DNA, that's like the most easily diffused. You could just that's nothing. But to me, it's how did they match the touch DNA? You know, the process of that. You're going to have to take a really good investigator to go through all this discovery, and you're going to have to match up a lot of dates and look at when they said they were doing X, Y, and Z to see where, because to me, there's going to be, that's not going to equal out, in my opinion. You didn't get Brian Kohlberger from tracking down a white Elantra the way that they're claiming.
Right.
Again, in my opinion. This is in my opinion. And then if that's the case, there should be hundreds of phone calls to people that owned white Elantras with all the tips that came through, and they were vetting these tips and they were going through, you know, all the people that owned white Elantras. Did they get phone calls? And when you see that, I mean, Brian Kohlberger didn't even get a phone call when they came up upon his white Elantra on November 29th. So why didn't they call him up and ask him where he was? And
why didn't any of Kohlberger's neighbors like call?
Yeah, it's just like, why? And then when people say like we don't want to tip him off, well, tip him off from what? Like, what's the point of the whole us providing tips is to do what with them? We don't want to tip people off. Tips. Like we were bringing tips though for you to do what with them.
It's so contradictory. Like everything was so contradictory.
What are you doing with the tips? I don't understand. If the tips are supposed to, because we're just, then we can dig into something and then we don't let people know. So then I think that gets disputed then in trial when you say, okay, did you call this person? And they say yes, but you didn't call Brian Kohlberger. You get what I'm like? So why was your approach different with this person than with that person? And
I'm just feeling a little weird, like about the whole process, you know, the fact that the Gonsalves family wasn't interviewed. And we've heard from so many experts that say, you know, it's so important to get to know the victims to figure out, you know, to profile a person. And they didn't have anybody from what they were telling us. So they're sitting back saying, you know, we don't have any suspects. And then they're not interviewing the Gonsalves family, and they're just sending them, according to their attorney, a questionnaire. So it's like, why wouldn't they want to interview? I mean, you think that would be one of the first things they did, minus from, you know, sitting down with everybody who was in that house that morning.
Yeah.
It's kind of troubling. And it's troubling to think that an innocent man might be arrested and might get convicted, you know, and it's possible.
I think the most troubling for me is that the police, law enforcement, they were able to ask for the public's help for how many weeks, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And ask us to provide tips or whatever. And then here you have Brian Kohlberger. Then once he is arrested, it's now his like he doesn't get to ask for help from the public. Like Anne couldn't ask us for help from the public. Like, hey, I'm looking for this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she'd be able to reach the audience of how many people if she's looking
anymore.
for something.
Mhm.
Yeah, you get what I mean? Like, and that's kind of how I feel like with for the Delphi case too, with Richard Allen's lawyers, and that's exactly what they argued. They argued that the prosecution has had 6 years to ask for the public's help, and now Richard Allen can't ask for the public's help. And that was their. And when they said that, that made sense to me, because it's just the public now can't help one of its own citizens out. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I got a response on one of my public record requests from Pullman, and they want some outrageous amount. I think you might have commented on
Oh yeah,
it.
I saw that.
But one of them I got denied for, and I didn't post that one. And it's just interesting when you get denied and you go back and you look like, what did I request again? And then you look at it and you're like, how is that part of the investigation? Because it said in there something like, it's being investigated or something. And I was like, ooh, that's interesting. But I don't want to put that out there just because, unlike, the news station we just watched, they don't really care about a tight case, right?
Right.
Hey, Octavia. No, we're both live. She says, what's happening here? Is this pre-recorded? I'm confused. I think that April Dawn says, I think the cops got mad because the Gonsalves family is the one who found the grub truck video. I don't know. I think there's a lot of reasons probably why there was some conflict there. And what have they said about, what are we going off of? He stared. We saw him in the school cafeteria and he just stared. That doesn't tell me guilty of murdering people, 4 people, no less. Jen H thinks there's enough evidence, in my opinion, that he's the one who did this. It's hard waiting many more months for the trial. Wow, how are you that convinced and sure of that? That's a pretty crazy, bold decision to come to. I'm curious, what was your deciding factor in saying you think they have the right guy, other than the cops saying we have our guy? But I think back to the Watts case and the fact that they never interviewed Chris's family. Why wouldn't they?
What was that?
When back to the Watts case.
Oh, okay.
When they didn't interview Chris's family.
I played the 5th on that case.
I know you did.
Yeah,
But wouldn't that be protocol?
Yeah, they flew there. You would think that they'd be interviewing people. The prosecution, I'm sorry, his defense team flew there. His own defense team, I don't think asked them any questions. Was positive. Yeah, they didn't. They didn't take. It was a really awkward situation from what I remember. Like I said, I put that so far out of my brain.
Yeah, I just think it's odd they wouldn't talk to Kaylee's family at all. She's 21, 22 years
they should all be
old.
called in. That's part of the victimology, 100%.
And yet, no one has asked those questions.
Yeah, I would want to know. Especially if you're saying that something was targeted and you're hearing
passion. It was a crime of passion in the very beginning, too, according to them. So they're pretty strong. Those are pretty strong things to say early on, in my opinion.
Oh, without a doubt.
I never realized this stuff.
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, you've really opened up my eyes.
I think there was a lot of. I think there was as much as they want to say there being this cohesive unit and everyone's working together. I question that now.
Mm-hmm.
I question that a lot.
As far as
that everybody's on the same page, like ISP, Moscow, FBI, prosecutors, you go back and you look at all of this. Do I think that everybody's on the same page? Absolutely not. No, I don't.
As far as what, though? Do you think that, what do you mean not on the same page? Because who's running the investigation right now? Is it still Moscow PD?
Well, that's what they say, yeah. And when
But-
you have a lot of people, how do you and people are working remotely and people are, you know, in different buildings and stuff like that. How are you briefing everybody? That's what I mean, like on the same
they're not,
pages,
yeah,
just
they're not
like
able,
what's going on.
they're not
Yeah.
collaborating all their stuff. Yeah, I don't see that happening either. I do find it interesting, though, that there was a canine drug search and a controlled substance officer-initiated call in January. I think it was like the 16th or the 17th on the 700 block of Nez Perce, and also a rape reported in mid-January on the 700 block of Nez Perce. There's still bad shit going on there. I don't know.
I mean,
It's
college
crazy.
towns are college towns,
Right.
you know?
I mean, it
but-
doesn't
but
phase them, I
there's-
guess.
Yeah, but if this doesn't shake your, I mean, this is
Right. I mean, that's what I'm saying. If this doesn't shake these kids, like, it just seems like everything just kept going, and it's just so weird to me. Because I would think that the town would have like a somber feel to it. But
Yeah, and I think it probably does. I think it does have it, but not. I mean, you also like us being older. We we think about it differently than the way like 19, 20, 21-year-olds. And then you hear people say this, well, Kaylee would want us to go on and be this way, or you know, Ethan would want us to do this, or you know, then you know, hear people say that, and they are like, well, they wouldn't want us not to like live our college, you know, days and nights and stuff like that. I think it's more just about being safe in your surroundings, and we all get caught up in our phones, and it could put us like not paying attention to something. But if you really look at this situation, I don't think it's one of those situations that somebody wasn't paying attention to their surroundings. I think this was a situation that has a lot to do with something that was going on for a long period of time. Because 4 people being brutally stabbed in their own home while sleeping, what did they do wrong? How are they not paying attention to their surroundings, you know? And I don't agree with that. Now, if you want to talk about your own house rules, and I think that you should, you know, a house lock up at a certain time, and you know, it's at this point, and then you lock your doors, and you know, XYZ happens. But I don't think that any home, not a fraternity, not a sorority, no one's home should be a revolving door, and you know, people can just come in and go out whenever. I think that's very dangerous.
oh, it is. They're playing with fire. I mean, these kids were playing with fire. Let's face it. All it takes is the wrong person to see that open door.
Yeah.
I mean, we have to be smarter. You know, I think that's the thing. This Greek life seems to have not evolved. Maybe it's just, you know, like you said, the age too. You know, you don't want to go away to college and be paranoid. But we're in a different age, and we're in a different world now, unfortunately. And our kids have to go to high school and elementary school and do, you know, gun drills and school shooting drills. So the innocence is kind of gone. So I think that them snapping Greek life kind of into shape a little bit would be probably good for 2023.
I've been following the money a lot, Jay. I've been looking at the
Oh
money a
yeah.
lot.
Oh, I saw. Dude, I about had a heart attack when I saw that.
Yeah.
Woo! When I saw
that's like-
Arizona number 2, I was like, wait, let me look. Oh, what?
I was looking at the money, the prescription pills, things that have been going on in the area, like, you know, in the years leading up to this, because I don't believe this was something just happened overnight. I don't believe this was somebody that was moved from Pennsylvania and happened to land eyes on this house and has no ties to anybody or anything, and picked the rowdiest house in terms of just the X factor. You don't know when that people are sleeping. You don't know when people are going and coming. You have a parking lot full of cars, and you don't know whose cars they are, how many people that were actually in those cars and then in that home. But you're going to be picking a house that is always pumping, and you don't, like, there's just that X factor that you don't know. Like, for example, you go into a room and there's 2 people sleeping in that room. You go into this room and there's 2 people sleeping in that room. But the 2 people that are survivors are actually single people, not sleeping with anybody in a room, and they're just totally disregarded.
One-way ticket
So I've been
to
looking
hell.
into just let's go ahead and say that's Brian Koberger. Let's go ahead and say, a stalker isolates. He would want like his like one-on-one time. Like that's a pattern. Like that's what a profiler would tell you about someone that's a stalker.
Mm-hmm.
To say that this person stalked these 4 people and disregarded the other 2. Well, I want to know more about the other 2 as to why they weren't harmed versus why the 4 were.
Right.
Because that person had the same opportunity, okay, to kill those 2 people. And
why were they spared? Yeah.
So when people say, like, why are you talking about, Dylan or Bethany? And it's the same type of thing. A profiler is going to profile the people that were in that home that were murdered, as well as profiling the people that weren't murdered and why were they spared. And maybe that's a better route to actually look at this. And when you look at it from that way, then you can understand more of like the red flags.
Right. And
because
then
this person had the same opportunity to kill those 2 survivors. And if you ask me, it would have been a more of like they're in a room by themselves versus they're in a room with another person.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but I just got a text that there's a bomb at the Costco in Clearwater by me.
What? Oh God.
Dude, what's going on? Okay, they cleared the scene at 4:25. It says Clearwater, Pinellas hazmat team concludes operation at Costco. Clearwater police continue their investigation. And something weird, we've been hearing like these booms, like sonic booms almost, the past couple days, and there's like Air Force jets out in the Gulf. It's a little scary. Everything's a little bit touchy right now. Like it feels like there's a little bit more going on than what we know about, but hey, what can you do?
Mm-hmm.
Potato says, and I think that's why Dylan and Bethany weren't killed. They weren't targets.
Yeah. Or yeah, they weren't targets. So then you want to talk about like, okay, well, what made them not? So you would want to ask them questions like, okay, what were you guys doing differently than they were? So were you involved in a sport? You know what I mean? That you would just go through like, where'd you work? Where'd you normally do this? What were you involved in? And but that's how you'd want to like.
Well, they cleared them really fast, didn't they?
Yeah. And I just, why would you even tell the public that? You don't need to. You don't need to. You don't need to say people are cleared. You don't have to do anything like that.
Well, they made it sound like they were doing it for the safety of the people that were being accused online. But that doesn't sound right to me either.
The safety of because the people that are being accused online.
Like because of they were saying they were getting threats and things like this. And they were saying that, like the grub truck guy, the hoodie guy and things like that they came out and said, the man at the food truck video. I mean, I couldn't even believe they were saying this out loud. I'm like,
one-way ticket.
Why are they doing
hell.
this? Like, first of all, why is Fry like explaining his demeanor?
One-way ticket to hell.
First thing I look for in a leader is not someone who makes excuses or feels the need to explain why they're smiling when they shouldn't be. If he's confident, if he's a confident, authoritative figure, he's not going to go on on an interview on national TV and say, "Well, people have been talking about me smiling, and I smile because that's just me." Like you just
well, I why not just release the Adam video? Release the Adam video without any words, and hoodie guy doesn't even get probably mentioned. After what I'm saying, like
mm-hmm.
I think the biggest thing about hoodie guy was he there with them when it started? Release like it's you see them walking down the road together. Okay, he wasn't. Then it doesn't look suspicious in terms of that he was stalking them. It looks more like exactly what it would be is he's walking down there with us and he was just waiting for us. That's why he didn't order any food. Who goes to a food truck and doesn't order food? That was the big hang up for a lot of people. Like, who goes to a food truck and doesn't order food? He's totally watching them. He's totally standing weird. You know, I know Doc did a couple videos about it when he's showing like, I think I posted a couple of those of the shots. Do you think that this is harsh? The guy, the neighbor, do you think that he was at the food grab truck that night? And so there was like a picture of like, do you think that it was him that was there? I don't know.
Yeah.
I just think that you don't need to really kind of say anything if you just release that clip of them walking without any of the video, without any of the audio. You don't have that. Or who cares about what is somebody writing online? Like, what's the people write stuff all day online?
And why is everything such a secret? Like, who's who? Like, who's in the grub truck video? Why is everything so secretive? Why can't we know who the fuck Adam is? Like, why can't we know these things? I don't understand why everything is so hush hush, even stupid things.
I think for me, more so, it's not the hush hush to me. It's the, you don't have to lie. You don't have. Why are you telling the community that Dylan slept on the first floor when her bedroom's on the second floor?
Why were they saying that they slept through the whole thing?
So they went out of their way, is my thing, to, yeah,
the shit's weird, man. It doesn't add up, and it makes everybody question. Then it makes you question everything, and that's what they say they're trying to avoid. Is
well, no, they tell you though. They tell you to go to their website to get the facts.
That's where the only place.
If we would have went to their website, we would have had the fact of Dylan and Bethany. Their bedrooms were on the first floor, and they slept. They went down to their bedrooms and they locked the door because people were partying or whatever, and they didn't want to party, and so they went down in their bedrooms, and then everybody's saying that they got home at 1, but they weren't out together that night, but they both got home at the same time. And then we know that Kaylee and Maddie didn't get home at 1:45, and they kept saying that, Ethan and Xana and
her sister had to swoop in and
yeah, she's like,
them.
why are you guys can see it right here on this Twitch video. So what's the problem? Why aren't you changing that? Why? And that would matter to me. I agree all the time, because if you're going to do it there, where else are you not going to do it?
Well, and then you couple that with, they're like, okay, but they've never even talked to us about our daughter. They're investigating her murder, but they've never even talked to us. It makes everything messy.
Yeah, it does. It makes everything, it honestly, like, this is what I just keep saying to people. They keep saying this is such a complex case. Listen to those words. So this isn't just some guy that stalked these girls and just sat outside and then walked in one day and murdered 4 of them and left the other 2 because he just wasn't interested in those 2, like a Brian Kohlberger. He had no interest in killing Dylan or Bethany because, so he
let her just see him.
So he let those 2 live. But then when you actually hear the story and you're talking about, wait a second, she didn't sleep on the bottom floor. She slept on the floor, and then she saw him. And so he's letting a witness like
just go about her way.
I think a witness in general, if you ask me, like there's windows in that house. Just because there's nothing to say that this person couldn't have been looking out the window to see you walk out to the back, because Dylan's bedroom has a window in it, and could have recorded. You could have taken your phone and actually recorded him. You could have went to your back window and recorded him walking back to his vehicle, and you would have had him on record.
Well, did you see what Ashley Banfield said was the reasoning? I played the clip a little bit ago. So she comes out and says someone came out of the woodwork, some dude, and he was in damage control mode for Dylan, it seemed like. So he's going on these programs saying, she did it. I'm sure you saw it. But she came out, Ashley did a video on it, and she said, that, fuck, I lost my train of thought.
that she wanted. They were going to brunch. Like it was that she thought that it was a person at the party, and that the person was
yeah,
just
that they
leaving.
were still in party mode, and that she was good. She was like, "Hey guys, be quiet! Like, stop partying. You're being too loud. Like, I'm trying to sleep." That's how she made it seem. I don't.
Yeah, and when she was getting up out of bed, she was getting up out of bed and was saying stuff, right? Hey guys, keep it down, right? Something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, keep it down,
And it's
guys.
like, well, that's okay. So once again, that's nowhere in the PCA, but okay, go ahead and throw that in there, and that's fine. But I think that part would be in because you're talking about that. You would say what you did when you opened up the door. She says, "I opened up the door. I didn't hear anything."
But she thought it was one of Ethan's friends leaving. That's what she said too. That she thought
clad
it was
clad in all black with a
And
mask on.
After Xana's crying.
One-way ticket.
I mean,
to hell.
why wouldn't you go check and see what's going on?
I can't wait to find out what time these phone calls are at. Like this, she called and texted people's phones, so I'm very curious to know those times.
Yeah, for sure. No,
You know, 'cause
I put a thumbnail up for her, you guys, so you wouldn't have to look at her black camera. I put your picture up there. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I don't even know what I was saying, Jay.
I know, my brain is mush.
Yeah, I've been just looking at the different parts of. What is it doing that? Motive. I think that somebody has a motive here. I think that there's a motive here. And I know that you don't have to have motive to convict, even though if you want to talk about premeditated murder, premeditation, what was the premeditated, like what happened? Because I think that that's important in this case. And if I was on the jury, I'd want to know what was the motive of Brian Kohlberger in this complex case, that it's so complicated that we have to tell little fibs here and there. And then we don't ask, let's just remind ourselves that they knew about this white Elantra for how long before they asked the public to help with this white Elantra. And it was after they found Brian Kohlberger's white Elantra.
Right. And it was doesn't even make sense. Hang on. Alicia, no, we're saying that report is bullshit. We're not going off of...
Literally, they heated my coffee 192 times today.
We're not going off what Banfield is saying. We're saying that we don't believe...
I'm saying that's her pure conjecture. Banfield's putting her conjecture on it, guys. It's no different than a YouTuber doing their conjecture on something. And she wants to say that she has a source. Okay, well, I have a source that says that, XYZ. Because guess what? We don't have to reveal our sources, and we can just say those things, and then nothing happens to us, right? I hate that. I'm not a fan of that. I get protecting. Okay, if you were protecting a source, then it probably shouldn't even be coming out.
Right. But she's sitting there in that interview that I played with the guy, the senior crime writer from People magazine. They're talking about how LE needs a sealed case, sealed tight, blah, 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 while they're leaking shit. Doesn't make sense.
And I think that I don't think there should be a gag order. I don't see how this is actually protecting Brian Kohlberger. And that's the point of a gag order, is to protect the integrity of this case and the defendant so that he is not prejudged.
I want your opinion on something. So what do you think about the fact, though, that, how Shannon Gray has challenged the gag order and they basically told him, too bad, you can't talk.
So sad.
But the family isn't gagged, so why aren't they just talking on their own? I don't get it. Everyone's acting like the family can't speak. The family is not gagged.
The family's
correct?
choosing not to.
Right, but they're not gagged.
I know they're not gagged. I don't believe that they're gagged. That's against your First Amendment rights. They're not gagged. They could be.
Well, I know the judge had mentioned she thought they were parties, but that was an error. And then the prosecutor said, oh, well, wait, we think that they might be witnesses. So I don't know where that ended up, where it stands now. It's all discombobulated. If you look up Brian Kohberger in the Idaho court website, it doesn't come up. And don't tell me it's because of the integrity of the investigation. Chad Daybell and Lori Daybell have come up since day one when you search them on the Idaho court site. They created this special little PDF clickery, little fuckery clickery on the cases of interest. You go to the court site, there ain't nothing. There's no record. Why? Doesn't make sense. Chad Daybell's there. That shit's more complex than anything, if you ask me. If you want to talk complex case, look at that shit. Lori Daybell is like 5 ex-husbands that are dead and a brother. And Chad's ex-wife. You don't get more motherfucking complicated than that. And that shit ain't gagged. Tell me.
When you talk about this being a complicated case, it just, it's...
This
is my point, is what's so complicated if it was just Brian Kohberger and he was stalking this house and these people, and that he just one night, he's a crazy man, right? That's what everybody's saying. He's an incel, he's crazy, he's this, he's that. And I'm just like...
Seems pretty fucking simple to me.
That's... If that wouldn't be considered a complex case, I'm up here, you moron. You wouldn't be using the words of this as a complex case.
No.
What you could say is it would be complex. It's going to be hard for us to prosecute him because we don't have dick. You could say that.
Right. We don't have much evidence. We still need tips from the public.
Yeah, but I believe that in Richard Allen's case, and in Brian Kohberger's case, putting these gag orders, it really, I think it hurts for his attorneys if they want to ask for help that they can't, because the public helped, in some type of ways. I'm telling you, in a lot of ways. But for her to have 1 million web sleuth investigators to dig stuff up, don't you think that would help Ann Taylor?
Sure.
Yeah.
I don't know how much help she needs. I mean, all she has to do is...
because you don't know what's in...
Well, she knows what they have now, right? Because they've passed it all over to her. And she hasn't entered any witnesses and any evidence.
Yeah, she plans on using everything that they have.
Interesting.
Against them. That's what that tells me. That whatever she has,
she's gonna flip their inconsistencies right around on them.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that she can explain all these things, and then also whatever's in that discovery. I mean, we have no idea. Okay, we have no idea what's in that discovery, but whatever's in that discovery, Anne believes it's enough for X, Y, and Z.
But the question is, if these
it's not bringing anything more to the table.
But if these leaks are potentially going to hurt the case or whatever, why is no one filing any? Why is there no motion? Or if this lawyer being on the case is such a big deal, like Ashley Banfield makes it seem like it is, why isn't the prosecutor filing a motion to get her kicked off? Why is it just News Nation that has a big fucking problem with this?
I think that you could probably dig up a lot of things. Public defenders have their hands in a lot of things, but I guess you wouldn't want a mistrial for any type of reason. That would be the only thing that I could think of, is that you wouldn't want to give something that's going to cost you a ton of money to have to redo this.
But don't you think that?
More,
I mean, if you look at a case,
no, this is a criminal case. This is not. There is no conflict. There is no conflict. I'm sorry, but this just.
I guess I just don't get it, because if you watch the case of Timothy McVeigh, they didn't even gag that case. I mean, everybody wants to talk about death penalty. Just because it's death penalty doesn't mean there's a gag order. I mean, Scott Peterson, there wasn't a gag order.
You'd have to say then what? Then basically Brian Kohberger cannot be defended by the public defender's office. Do you understand that? That means he cannot be defended by the public, period. There's no going and getting another lawyer from the public defender's office to defend Brian Kohberger from that area. You get what I'm saying? It would, because the public defender's office actually had.
But
care
that's
for
not
Nudo's
that's
case.
not Brian Koberger's fault though. Like
Correct.
there's got to
That's
be.
what I'm trying to say.
Like if there's an issue with her, let's say something happens and legitimate. He says, you know what? I need a new lawyer. Like, and there's a legitimate reason. They're gonna have to pull someone from somewhere.
Yeah, and they're gonna maybe their argument is that you need to go to a different county. Well, go and look at those counties. Has she had attorneys in those counties? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, you know what the judge in the Daybell case is doing? Because they kept saying, we need to move the trial. We need to move the trial. They're not going to get a fair trial. They're bringing the jurors from somewhere else and bringing them to them.
yeah, that's what they did in.
And I think that makes more sense than having it somewhere else, right? Because then the local people are there.
Can you imagine that though? Like if you're on the jury and you live like if I had to drive to I don't know Cleveland every day, how is that supposed to happen?
Well, I think they'd
Better be-
probably put you up in a hotel, right?
Yeah, and then all I think about is Pauly Shore. Is that his name? Pauly Shore, whatever his name
The
is.
guy-
The jury. What's it? The Jury Duty. Is that the movie? The Jury Duty.
I don't know.
Yeah, Jury Duty. Where he's extending on this trial.
Oh,
so
the
he can
dude
get
from
his-
MTV, that guy?
Yeah,
Totally
he's-
Pollen.
He's totally like extending this case on just so he can live in this hotel and eat, meals and stuff.
So I wonder why they added that second lawyer on.
He's a really good litigator.
Why wouldn't they add, but if he's being tried in Latah County, why wouldn't they add someone from there?
I've been thinking that Anne brought him on. It was like,
is that her choice? I mean, as a public defender, do you have those kind of options? It sounds to me like they do whatever they want anyways.
I mean, here, you two lawyers who hate each other, you guys are going to... guys are going to go ahead and defend this dude.
Hey, we got to work with people we hate all the time, I don't know. It's just odd. Nothing sits right with me. So, but that's nothing new. But anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. You guys,
Yeah, me too. Cause I'm doing a live. Oh my God. I gotta go.
What do you mean? What are you doing? What's up your sleeve?
I'm doing a members only live. Because we're going to talk about the cartels.
Ooh, somebody was saying, please talk about the cartels. Go over to Truth and Transparency, become a member, and you can talk about some cartel shiz.
Yeah. We're gonna talk about Friday night drug slinging.
Be careful there.
Get treated like
All right.
skunk.
All right, see ya.
As always, Jay.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank
see
you.
ya.
I just exit this thing. Just leave.
Yep, just go on your merry way, and we'll talk about your stream deck later.
Yeah, we'll talk about my deck.
Your deck.
Can I have a okay?
Yes, I'm getting it. I'm getting it. See, that's
you
the thing.
have
I have
one?
like 10 pages of shiz.
Oh, you do. So you went ahead and you loaded it. Your deck is sprung.
What?
All right, see ya.
We get a weakness. You gotta see this.
Mask off.
Mask off.
Mask off. Fucking mask off.
Oh, it's always a pleasure to have TNT pop in. I am going to wrap this up, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow. We're going to dance it out. Hey, Jeff H. Hey, everybody, if I didn't get a chance to say hello. Yeah, I don't know. The remains, I don't know. It's too much. All right, you guys, we're out. Enjoy your Friday night. See you tomorrow. Love you guys too.
I don't give a damn.
Okay.
I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. 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 You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to friends, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time for that.